Hello and welcome to Real and Replica Steel. Today I'm going to be doing a desktop review of the 22 caliber Sig Sauer 1911-22. Alright, now for the unboxing. Okay, so in the box we have a lock, manual, and some tools. So there's some Allen keys in there, a brush, and some spare front sights, which we'll talk about in a moment. Onto the actual gun. Alright, here it is. Alright, we'll just take the safety label off. Stop, read instruction manual before using. Of course we will be doing that. But first, let's do our safety check. Alright, the magazine is empty and the chamber is empty, as you would expect. Alright, carefully drop the hammer. Of course it's a 22, so we do not want to dry fire it. Alright, first impressions. Now as far as sizes is concerned, I have my Remington 45 here. You can see that they are a similar size, so the Sig 1911-22 is a full size 1911, and the Remington is a little bit heavier, but you'd probably expect that from a 45, but only by a bit. The grips are a textured wood, and you know, in lieu of the checkering, it's quite a nice finish. I mentioned it's a, or maybe I didn't, but it's an all-metal construction. The finish just appears to be some sort of two-pack paint or something. And look, to be completely honest with you, this is a bit of a faux unboxing because I've put 100 rounds or so through this gun and done my field review and so forth. And you can see here that the finish is starting to wear away already. So look, you know, that's a bit disappointing. But it's a cheap gun, I mean, what do you expect? Now, onto the specifications of this particular gun. Like all 1911s, of course, it is single action only. It has a 10 round magazine, 5-inch barrel, and the weight comes in at about 2.1 pounds, or about 970 odd grams. As far as the sights are concerned, we've got the 3-dot sights. I quite like the 3-dot sights. If you know, in low light conditions, or if you're doing rapid fire, or if your eyes aren't quite as good as they used to be, it makes target acquisition just a bit easier as far as I'm concerned. The rear sight has a windage adjustment but no elevation adjustment. I mentioned before that the tool kit comes with some Allen keys and or hex keys if you prefer, and two spare front sights. The purpose of these front sights is to allow you to adjust for elevation. So if you're a target shooter, you shoot the same ammunition at the same distance all the time, you can change your front sight to suit so you can get your sight picture as close to perfect as possible. Now on to check the trigger. I shall put in my much used fired blank cartridge to act as a snap cap. Starting to get a little bit hard to get in now. I shall have to make another one of those. And we'll just evaluate the trigger pull. So here we go. So there's a little bit of pre-travel, and there's a little bit of creep there. It's not too rough. It's fairly consistent, and there's the brake. It's not so bad. We'll check for reset. Okay, now very carefully listening for the reset. Okay, so it's reset there, and there's the full release of the trigger. So it resets fairly quickly, which is nice. We'll also put the trigger pull gauge on it and work out exactly how much pressure is required. It's not the lightest trigger I've ever felt, I will say that before we start. And of course you have to engage the grip safety. And here we go. A bit over 6 pounds, well over 6 pounds. We'll do another one. Okay, 5 pounds 7 ounces. So not exactly a light trigger, not the heaviest in the world, but if you were going to use this for target shooting, you'd probably want to clean up the trigger a little bit. Onto the safety systems, of course, like all 1911s, you've got your manual safety. This one's got an ambidextrous safety, so that will suit some people. The gun also has a firing pin block which acts as a drop safety, so that's a nice feature. Also has a magazine safety, so you cannot fire this gun with the magazine out. I know some target shooters aren't fond of that feature because they feel it interrupts the trigger pull a little bit, but it is what it is. Of course, this gun also features a grip safety, and not all 1911-22 editions will. For example, the Chiappa or Chiappa 22 doesn't have a grip safety. So, you know, it's a nice feature to have. So, overall impressions. Well, it's a full-size gun. It's got, you know, it's a 1911, so if you've held a 1911, it just feels like a 1911. It does have the ambidextrous safety, which is nice. The grips are textured and wood, so that's nice. Not so thrilled about the finish on the slide, but it's a low-cost gun, has a nice tight little action. It is fairly complicated to field strip. There's about 7 steps, and I'll make a separate video on that. Essentially, it involves unscrewing a little grub screw here and a few other bits and pieces, so I'll make a separate video on that. But otherwise, well, as I said, this is a faux unboxing. I was going to say I'm looking forward to shooting it. I have actually shot it, but the field review's coming up, and you'll get to see for yourself how it shoots. So, if you've got any comments or questions, leave them in the comment section below. And if you've enjoyed watching this video, please consider subscribing. Thanks for watching Real and Replica Steel.